I greet you all and welcome you to the lesson. Today we are going to discuss the limitations of strategic management. We are continuing with a series of lessons in strategic management. Today we come to a point where we want to discuss the limitations of strategic management. And by the end of this lesson, you should be able to discuss the limitations of strategic management. So welcome to the lesson. Limitations of strategic management is the lesson. Now, while strategic management is a valuable tool for organizations to achieve their goals, it has certain limitations that can hinder its effectiveness. And therefore, as a strategic planner, you need to know the limitations so that you can put in place measures to mitigate against such limitations. The first limitation is uncertain future. Uncertainty in future events. Uncertain future. The inability to foretell what holds in the future can be a limitation of strategic management. Strategic management relies on predicting future trends and events, which is inherently difficult due to the complex dynamic nature of the business environment. Do you understand? So expected changes in technology, market conditions, regulations, in social factors, political factors can hinder even the most well-crafted strategies to be obsolete. You understand? Due to unexpected changes in technology and in the regulations and the political environment, that in itself is a limitation. There are changes that may not be anticipated. And we've said that strategic management relies on predicting future events. So the strategic planners may not be able to predict accurately what will happen in the future, and that becomes a challenge. Two, limited resources. Limited resources. Strategic management requires significant resources, including time, money, trained people, expertise, and all that. And therefore, small businesses and organizations with limited resources may struggle to fully engage in strategic management process, thereby limiting their ability to develop and implement comprehensive strategies. Three, rigidity. Strategic plans can become rigid and inflexible, making it difficult for organizations to adapt to unexpected changes or even to seize new opportunities. And this can be particularly problematic in a rapidly evolving um, uh, industries where agility and responsiveness are crucial. Four, bias and subjectivity. Bias and subjectivity. Strategic decisions are often influenced by biases and personal agendas. And these are personal agendas of the decision makers and the strategic planners. And that can lead to what we call suboptimal choices that may not be in the best interest of the organization as a whole. Strategic management is carried out by people who may have personal interests, who may then make decisions that are suboptimal, decisions that are not in the best interest of the company as a whole, but in their own best interests. And that is a challenge. Bias and subjectivity. There is also overemphasis, overemphasis on analysis, overemphasis on analysis, overemphasis on analysis. And we know overemphasis can lead to paralysis. All right? Strategic management can sometimes become overly focused on analysis and data collection, neglecting the importance of intuition, the importance of creativity and experimentation. And that can hinder innovation and limit the organization's ability to respond to emerging trends. 6. Resistance to change. Resistance to change is a limitation of strategic management. Implementing new strategies often requires significant changes in the organizational structures, processes, and behaviors, and that can lead to resistance from employees who are comfortable with the status quo, making it difficult to successfully implement strategy. The 7th limitation is in relation to implementation. Lack of implementation. Lack of implementation. It's possible to have very good strategies on paper, and even the best laid strategies can fail if they are not effectively implemented. And implementation of strategies requires strong leadership, requires clear communication and commitment to change at all levels of the organization. So there could be challenges or limitations in relation to implementation. As much as the company may have the best strategies in the world, when it comes to implementation, if there is no strong leadership and proper communication, then that can be a challenge or a limitation of strategic management. 8. Short-term focus. Short-term focus. Organizations may prioritize short-term gains over long-term sustainability, leading to decisions that prioritize short-term gains over long-term sustainability, and that can undermine the organization's future success. And that can be especially tempting in terms of economic pressure or when facing competitive threats. 9. Another limitation is groupthink. Groupthink. Now, groupthink is where a group of decision making prioritize consensus over critical thinking, which can lead to poor strategic choices. It can stifle dissenting opinions and prevent exploration of alternative actions. So you recall within the strategic management process, there is a point where there is need to generate alternative options, and that can be hindered because of groupthink. Then lastly, 10, overconfidence can be a limitation to strategic management. Overconfidence in this is overconfidence in the organization's ability to accurately predict the future. which can lead to overly ambitious strategies that are difficult to achieve or implement. And that can result in wasted resources, it can result in missed opportunities, and so on. So these are limitations of strategic management. One is in relation to uncertainty in future. Two, limited resources. Three, rigidity. Four, bias and subjectivity. Five, overemphasis on analysis, which can lead to paralysis. Number six, resistance to change. Number seven, lack of implementation. Number eight, short-term focus, groupthink, and overconfidence. Assignment. One, how can the inherent uncertainty of the future impact the effectiveness of even the most well thought out strategic plans? Two, what are some ways organizations with limited resources can still engage in effective strategic management despite constraints? Three, how can organizations strike a balance between having a structured strategic plan and remaining agile enough to respond to unexpected changes? Four, what steps can organizations take to mitigate the biases and subjectivity that can sometimes influence strategic decision making? Please do the assignment. Then we meet in our next lesson where we continue to share knowledge in strategic management. Bye.